Stores are never nice to people. They're nice to credit cards.
You see this young lady over there?
Yes.
Do you have anything in this shop as beautiful as she is?
Oh, yes.
When people talk about romantic comedy movies from the 1990s, one film that almost always comes up is Pretty Woman. This movie became one of the most loved films of its time, and even today, many people still enjoy watching it. The story feels like a modern version of a fairy tale, where two people from completely different worlds meet and slowly fall in love. The movie is not only popular because of its story, but also because of the strong performances by its main actors. Their chemistry made the story feel real and emotional, which helped the film connect with audiences around the world. However, even though the movie looks perfect at first glance, it is not completely flawless. Like many films, it has small mistakes that were not noticed when it first came out. Over time, viewers started spotting these hidden errors, especially in costumes and continuity. These mistakes did not ruin the movie, but they added an interesting layer for fans who enjoy finding small details. In fact, some people now watch the movie again just to look for these errors. This shows how deeply the film has stayed in people's minds. It is not just a love story anymore, it is also a piece of cinema history filled with fun facts and surprising moments. The idea that such a famous and successful movie could have noticeable mistakes makes it even more interesting to explore. The story of Pretty Woman may seem simple at first, but it has many layers that make it special. It follows a young woman named Vivian who works as an escort and lives a difficult life. One day, she meets Edward, a wealthy businessman who hires her to be his companion for social events. At first, their relationship is purely based on an agreement, but as they spend more time together, things begin to change. They start understanding each other's lives and struggles, which creates a deeper connection between them. Vivian is surprised by Edward's respectful behavior, while Edward begins to see life in a new way through Vivian's eyes. This contrast between their worlds makes the story interesting and emotional. The film mixes romance with humor, making it enjoyable for a wide audience. It also touches on themes like personal growth, acceptance, and love beyond social differences. Over time, their relationship develops into something real, which gives the film its fairy tale feeling. However, behind this smooth and charming story, there were many changes during production. The original version of the story was much darker and focused on serious issues. It was later rewritten to become more lighthearted and romantic. This transformation helped the movie become more appealing to viewers. Even though the story looks simple, the effort behind shaping it into the final version was quite complex. This mix of simplicity on the surface and complexity behind the scenes is one of the reasons why the movie remains so popular even today. One of the most interesting things about Pretty Woman is the number of small mistakes that appear throughout the film, especially in clothing and props. These errors are known as continuity mistakes, and they happen when something changes between shots without explanation. A famous example is the scene where Vivian is eating breakfast. In one shot, she is holding a croissant, but in the next shot, it suddenly turns into a pancake. This change happens very quickly, but once you notice it, it becomes hard to ignore. Another well-known mistake involves Edward's tie. In one moment, Vivian removes his tie, but in the next shot, it appears tied again. Then it changes back once more. These small details might not seem important, but they show how difficult it is to keep everything consistent while filming. Movies are usually shot in different takes and at different times, which makes it easy for such errors to happen. At the time of release, most viewers did not notice these mistakes, but as people started watching the film more carefully, these details became popular topics of discussion. Today, these errors are part of what makes the movie fun to watch again. Instead of reducing the film's quality, they add a sense of realism and remind viewers that even big productions are not perfect. These mistakes also highlight the human side of filmmaking, where small details can sometimes slip through even with a large team working on the project. Making a movie is never easy, and Pretty Woman faced many challenges during its production. Some scenes had to be filmed multiple times because of unexpected problems. For example, the famous ending scene where Edward climbs the fire escape to reach Vivian was not completed in one take. There were issues like dirty costumes, slipping shoes, and even background noise that interrupted filming. These small problems may not seem important, but they can delay production and make the process more stressful. Despite these challenges, the team managed to create one of the most memorable endings in romantic comedy history. There were also many fun and surprising moments behind the scenes. In one scene, the actress became so nervous that a vein appeared on her forehead, and filming had to stop until she relaxed. In another moment, the director tried to create a natural laugh by joking around during filming. These small details show how much effort goes into making scenes look natural and effortless. The team had to balance professionalism with creativity to achieve the desired results. These behind-the-scenes stories give viewers a deeper understanding of how movies are made. They show that what looks simple on screen often requires a lot of work and patience. Learning about these moments can make people appreciate the film even more, as they realize the amount of effort and teamwork involved in creating such a successful movie. One of the most important parts of any movie is its casting, and Pretty Woman went through a long and difficult process before finding the right actors. Many well-known actors were considered for the main roles, but not all of them felt comfortable with the story. Some thought the characters were too complex, while others were unsure about the film's direction. This made it hard for the producers to finalize the cast. At one point, even the actor who eventually played Edward was unsure about accepting the role. However, everything changed after a personal interaction that convinced him to join the project. The actress playing Vivian also faced challenges during casting, as the studio initially wanted someone more experienced. Despite these difficulties, the final choice turned out to be perfect. The chemistry between the two lead actors became one of the strongest elements of the film. Their performances brought the characters to life and made the story feel believable. It is hard to imagine the movie with different actors because their connection played such a big role in its success. This shows how important casting decisions are in filmmaking. Even a great script can fail if the actors do not fit their roles. In this case, the challenges in casting actually helped create a better result, as the final pairing became iconic. The struggles behind choosing the cast remind us that success often comes after many trials and changes. Costumes play a big role in how characters are seen in a movie, and Pretty Woman is a great example of this. The outfits worn by Vivian are especially important because they show her transformation throughout the story. At the beginning of the film, her clothing reflects her difficult lifestyle, but as the story progresses, her style becomes more elegant and refined. One of the most famous outfits is the red dress she wears to the opera. This dress became a symbol of her change and confidence. Interestingly, the dress was not part of the original plan. The studio wanted something simpler, but the costume designer believed that a bold red dress would have a stronger impact. This decision turned out to be the right one, as the dress became one of the most memorable parts of the movie. Another interesting detail is the red jacket that Vivian wears in earlier scenes. It was actually bought at the last minute, but it still became an important part of her look. These examples show how creative decisions can shape the final result of a film. Costumes are not just about appearance, they help tell the story and develop the characters. Even though there were some wardrobe mistakes, the overall costume design was highly successful. It added depth to the film and helped make it visually appealing. This balance between small errors and strong design choices makes the movie even more interesting to analyze. Another reason why Pretty Woman feels so real and engaging is its use of actual locations. Instead of relying only on studio sets, the filmmakers chose to shoot many scenes in real places. This added authenticity to the story and made the world of the film more believable. Locations like luxury hotels, shopping streets, and restaurants helped create a rich and glamorous setting. These places were not just backgrounds, they became part of the story. For example, the hotel where the main characters stay plays an important role in their relationship. The shopping scenes also highlight the difference between their worlds, showing how Vivian experiences a completely new lifestyle. Filming in real locations can be challenging because it requires more planning and coordination. There are also risks, such as unexpected weather or noise, which can affect the. However, the effort is often worth it because it creates a more natural look. In this film, the use of real locations helped bring the story to life and made it more relatable. It allowed viewers to feel like they were part of the character's journey. These production choices show how important setting is in filmmaking. A good location can enhance the story and make it more memorable. Even years after its release, many of these places are still associated with the film, showing the lasting impact of these decisions. Even after many years, Pretty Woman continues to be a favorite for many people around the world. Its success is not just because of its romantic story, but also because of the emotions and memories it creates. The film managed to connect with audiences on a deep level, which is why it remains popular even today. The small mistakes and behind-the-scenes stories only add to its charm. Instead of taking away from the experience, they make the film more human and relatable. Viewers enjoy discovering these details and sharing them with others. This keeps the movie alive in discussions and media. The journey of the film, from its early changes to its final success, shows how unpredictable filmmaking can be. It also proves that even imperfect projects can become masterpieces. The combination of a strong story, memorable characters, and interesting production details help the movie stand the test of time. It is a reminder that success is not about being perfect, but about creating something meaningful and enjoyable. Whether someone is watching it for the first time or the 10th time, there is always something new to notice. This lasting appeal is what makes Pretty Woman a true classic in the world of cinema. Many people are surprised to learn that Pretty Woman was not always meant to be a light and romantic story. In fact, the original script was much darker and more serious. It focused on the harsh realities of life and the struggles faced by the main character. The story was less about romance and more about survival. The relationship between Vivian and Edward was also very different in the early version. Instead of a sweet love story, it was more complicated and even uncomfortable at times. The script explored themes like loneliness, addiction, and emotional pain, which made it